County prosecutor and his chief of staff will be in court tomorrow facing several criminal charges. This comes after a former employee says the two threatened her when she tried to resign. First at 4, Brittany Weir has been following this case all day long. She's live for us in Lorain County. Brittany, some shocking details here.
Yeah, shocking is the right word there, Brian. Lorain County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson and his Chief of Staff, James Burge, they're being charged with intimidation and tampering with evidence. Tomlinson also being charged with attempted bribery. And these charges, they all come from accusations from a former employee. And now this 22-page report from the Lorain County Sheriff's Office gives a vivid picture of what happened.
J.D. Tomlinson, who has been the Lorain County prosecutor since 2020, is now facing several criminal charges. In a lengthy report from the Lorain County Sheriff's Office, a former employee, Jennifer Battistelli, is accusing him of threatening her and being violent. The report says Tomlinson grabbed Battistelli by the shoulders, threw her on a couch, and shook her. Battistelli says when she tried to resign, Tomlinson threatened her. According to the report, Battistelli began working at the prosecutor's office in January 2021. Later that spring, the two started dating. Battistelli says she later discovered that Tomlinson was involved with several other women. The report states as many as 10 at a time. She also claimed Tomlinson became obsessed with her and would call her 100 times a day. During the summer of 2023, Battistelli filed formal complaints against Tomlinson and resigned. The report states that Tomlinson begged Battistelli to go to dinner to sort things out. He offered her $100 to meet, but when she said no, he then offered $500.
They have reached out to both Tomlinson and Burge for a comment, but we have not heard back. There is a special prosecutor assigned to this case, and both men are scheduled to be arraigned in court tomorrow morning. But coming up at 6, I'll share alleged text messages sent from Tomlinson that show how he tried to control his former employee. Live in Lorain, Brittany Weir, 19 News.